There's a true crime story from the UK that a lot of people know the headline of, but not many people actually know the full details. And once you hear the entire story, it stays with you. This is the story of Katie Piper. Katie Piper was 24 years old, living in London, and by most standards, her life was going in a positive direction. She was confident, ambitious, and very attractive. People had told her she was beautiful her entire life. Sometimes even strangers would stop her on the street just to say it. Because of that, Katie decided to try modeling, and it actually worked. She wasn't a global supermodel, but she was booking real jobs. She appeared on television, worked as a presenter on small shows, appeared on quiz programs, and sometimes worked as a ring girl at martial arts events. She wasn't rich, but she was making steady money and building a career. For the first time in her life, things felt like they were moving forward. Around this time, Katie met a man named Daniel Lynch. At first, the relationship seemed normal. He was charming, confident, and attentive. But as time passed, cracks began to show. Daniel was controlling. He was jealous of Katie's work and uncomfortable with the attention she received from others. What started as concern slowly turned into possessiveness. Daniel wanted to know where Katie was at all times. He didn't like her independence. He didn't like her career. And most importantly, he didn't like the fact that she didn't need him. Eventually, Katie realized the relationship wasn't healthy. So she did what many people do in that situation. She ended it. But Daniel didn't accept the breakup. Instead of moving on, he became obsessed with the idea that Katie had humiliated him, that she had taken something from him. And in his mind, if he couldn't control her anymore, then she shouldn't be allowed to live the life she had. This is where the story takes a dark turn. Rather than confronting Katie directly, Daniel began planning revenge. Not a confrontation, not an argument, something permanent. Daniel hired another man to carry out an attack on Katie. The goal wasn't to scare her. The goal was to destroy her appearance, the thing he believed defined her life and her value. In March 2008, Katie agreed to meet someone she believed was connected to work. She opened the door to her apartment, expecting a normal conversation. Instead, a man threw acid directly into her face. The attack lasted seconds. The damage was catastrophic. Katie was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries to her face, eyes, chest, and arms. Doctors later described it as one of the worst acid attacks they had ever treated. She lost vision in one eye. Her face was permanently disfigured. Her skin was severely burned. For weeks, Katie was placed in a medically induced coma as doctors tried to stabilize her condition. When she finally woke up, she didn't recognize herself. Katie had to relearn basic tasks most people take for granted. Eating, speaking, seeing, looking in a mirror. She underwent dozens of surgeries, skin grafts, and reconstructive procedures. The physical pain was constant, but the psychological trauma was just as severe. She had to process the fact that this wasn't an accident. This wasn't random violence. Someone she had once trusted had planned this. On purpose. Police quickly identified Daniel Lynch as the mastermind behind the attack. He was arrested along with the man who carried it out. In court, the details were chilling. The attack had been planned, paid for, and intended to permanently ruin Katie's life. Daniel Lynch was convicted and sentenced to prison. The man who threw the acid was also sentenced. Justice, at least legally, had been served. But no prison sentence could undo what had already happened. Katie's modeling career was over. Her privacy was gone. Her life before the attack no longer existed. And for many people, this is where the story would end. But Katie Piper's story didn't end there. Instead of disappearing from public life, Katie made a decision that surprised many people. She chose to speak. She spoke openly about the attack, the recovery, the trauma, and the reality of living with permanent injuries. She talked about how violence like this isn't about love, it's about control. Over time, Katie rebuilt her life in a completely different way. She founded the Katie Piper Foundation, which supports people living with burns, scars, and disfigurement. She became an author, a television presenter, an advocate for survivors of violent crime. She didn't reclaim her old life. She built a new one. What makes this story so disturbing isn't just the attack itself, it's the motivation behind it. This wasn't a crime of passion in the heat of the moment. It was calculated, planned, driven by entitlement and jealousy. It's a reminder that some of the most dangerous threats don't come from strangers in dark places, but from people who feel they own someone else. Katie Piper survived something that should have destroyed her. And while the scars remain, so does her voice. Her story isn't just about violence. It's about survival, resilience, and the refusal to let cruelty have the final word.